You are now tuned into the Wake the Flock Up Network.
Round number 8. Who would you let that bullet hit? Now, you know, disclaimer, I'm not saying Adlib shoot someone. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you're going to...
listen, man.
But, you know, you're just not going to sweat it if dude gets it. You just, it is what it is.
Any bigot, racist piece of shit, I'll just duck and let the bullet hit him, you know?
Any racist motherfuckers?
Any of that. Any of that hate nonsense, man. You know, anybody who ever touched or did anything to kids, like, I'll help you put the bullet in them, you know?
A racist pedophile could get it.
Oh, racist pedophile. I don't know if you kill them. I think we torture them. I don't think you let them hit the bullet. I think you let them live a little bit in agony.
But how would that work though? Like, would they do kids that they hate or do kids that they like? Sometimes it's a mixed, mixed combination here because, he's black, but he's black, so I'm gonna ruin, like,
kill them all.
You know what I'm saying? Welcome back to the show. You are now listening to Wake the Flock Up with Concept 714. We're here. What is this? LA, right? It's LA area? You know what? I live in Orange County. So it kind of lets me travel. Oh, I need to go IE because he has a show and he can only squeeze the interview in like there. Or, I got to drive to LA because, he's checking out. You got to be there an hour earlier, whatever. So OC is kind of like the middle ground. But every time I come down to LA, dude, there's this vibe. There's this energy. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm parked and it's like Sunset Boulevard and there's like hills and cars and it looks like you're in like an old school painting. You know what I'm saying? Like it gives you this vibe. But so it has a lot of cool energy to it. Obviously a lot of history in LA. You know what I'm saying? All the greats stop by here. A lot of the greats are from here. So I think there's like these ley lines that just give out artistic, you know what I'm saying? Like an artistic vibe to them. So I love coming down here. There's always good energy, good flow. Today's very special, for me because I am a battle axe warrior. Yeah. Actually, I'm one of the first 1,000 that got when it first started back in the day, right? And then Macho was just like barely talking about it. I remember he was promoting it and I had been a Swollen fan for years, bro, forever. And he's like, yeah, we're opening it up and we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I remember I submitted my stuff and I kind of hit him on Twitter and I told him, yo, I just submitted my stuff. This is what I do. And he kind of inducted me in himself. He's like, yeah, bro, like I really like this is a good idea. What you got? I told him about the show and I got what I was doing and stuff. He's like, yeah, this is good. This could be a good vibe for hip hop, blah, blah, blah. We'd love to have you. Short, sweet. It wasn't like a long, it was just him like, yeah, you're dope. This is good. Yeah, dude, I've been a battle axe warrior since. And I love it. I love the energy. I love working with the people, going to the meetings, meeting Tallboy and all the other people here, But I'm sitting here with...
Oh, what's up? It's Adlib. Stoniest guy in the galaxy.
Stoniest?
It's the stoniest.
Dude, there's people that'll challenge that.
I know. So I should take that back. I should take that back. No. They're the OGs. How about the new generation? How about the up and coming?
Leading the way for new stoners.
Leading the way for the new stoners. There we go.
So where are we from originally, Adlib?
Pennsylvania. I was born in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
I live in Allentown, which is about an hour outside of Philadelphia. And I've been in Pennsylvania my whole life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're still there.
Yeah, I still live in Pennsylvania.
What is it about it? Because look, like I'm with the same way. I'm Orange County. Like I've gotten a chance to move across country, and I've gotten a chance to do this, and it's just come back home, bro. Like I don't know, like there's something familiar with something comforting about growing around familiar sights.
Yeah. Well, I don't live in Philadelphia. Like I said, I live in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
I live in Allentown.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing really holding me in Pennsylvania except for my mom and my dad at this point. I'll probably be a West Coast guy.
Before you know it.
Yeah. I think I want to retire and live out here, man. The sun, I love the sun is amazing.
What kind of weather we get out there? Like 90% of the time it's cold, right?
No, it's not too bad. The winter's cold.
Mm-hmm.
The winter's snow and,
mm-hmm.
bullshit.
Yeah.
So,
but you have your heat rays. You have your sun.
Yeah. Summer's same. Summer's,
okay.
Because you get up there in the hundreds, it's hot. It's hot in the summer.
I mean, down here, bro, like it'll rain one day and then it'll be cold the next and then it'll get windy and then it'll be hot. Like, it's fucked up. The weather's drunk out here, bro. You know what I mean? I
don't know, man. I dig it out here. You guys wear shorts in the winter. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Well, it's a laid back Cali.
That's what I like about Cali's laid back. So we're in, Philadelphia, New York, super fast paced. Everything is fast.
Mm-hmm.
Out here, I feel like everybody's kind of laid back a little bit. Mm-hmm. Everybody's chilling.
Yeah. But you gotta make a difference because once you hit like a certain part of the state, it should just be a completely different state because Northern Cali is nothing like Southern Cali.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if we share the same weather type patterns, to be honest with you, because I know like Seattle and all those others, they rain a lot, so it's a lot cold, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, you got, especially on like hustle, I think Northern Cali has been on their hustle longer than Southern Cali because Southern Cali has had Hollywood to kind of help them with their hustle.
Right.
And catapult it more when North doesn't really I just heard this and I remember now that we talked about it with the interview with Merce. He pointed out that E40 had never worked with Dr. Dre before. And to me, that's insane. That's insanity that these two huge giant West Coast artists haven't worked with each other. And it's because of the difference of attacking work. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's trippy.
It's a weird thing, and same thing with New York cats and Cali cats. New York cats are really like, there's like a time where it's like they'll take it off or they'll rest, and like that's why New York cats don't deliver as many albums as West Coast cats. Yeah. The energy, the work vibe is different.
Yeah, I can see that. That's wild. I never really thought about that. That's pretty crazy.
Merce broke it down and I was like, whoa, he's like, yeah, dude, like this is the reason and you never thought about this. And I'm like, this is why I love doing these interviews because all the knowledge that comes up from these artists that I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, that's wild.
To me, it's very easy to be like.
E40 and Dre never worked with each other.
Never. Right. And I think it's a handful of artists that he has worked with from the North is like Too Short in like one track because Dre doesn't need to go up there, right? So they'll need to come down here, right?
That's true.
And Dre is busy down here in the South anyway, so he doesn't, the money, he doesn't, he's Dre.
Yeah, I guess he got to have interest in what he wants to work with. He's not doing anything just for business reasons. He has enough bread to do whatever he wants. He probably works with who he wants to work with, and that's about it.
Well,
right?
because why else would he go out of his way, travel up there, or whatever the case may be, when he has Eminem? Or he has Game, or he has Blank, he's going to get his platinum out, he's going to get his platinum from, so why worry about it, But you also, you have to consider Dre's been around forever and this, that, and the other. But the reason that I was wondering is because, you're from an area that's not wildly known for hip hop. It's not like, that's.
Yeah, we have the Roots.
Mm-hmm.
With, Beanie Siegel, the Roots. A lot of people don't realize is that Philadelphia, being in LA is kind of a cool conversation. Is that Philadelphia is kind of the origination of gangster rap.
Yeah,
Schoolie D.
That's true.
Ice-T and all these guys all credit Schoolie D for that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of this is always LA is kind of the home of gangster rap and what was always considered and what is considered gangster rap. But yeah, Philadelphia has
Philly was the origins.
Has its roots with that. You know what I mean? Obviously, you guys took it to another level.
Dude, when I heard that track, right, and I was like, whoa, because growing up, I was an Ice-T fan before I was like an NWA fan, just because Ice-T had the charisma and the delivery, and he was telling stories, and he was like doing all these things that are now looking back like way ahead of his time for the 80s or 90s when he popped off. But yeah, when he gave credit to him for originating gangster rap, I was like, how true can that be? And then I heard, and I'm like, yo, that's exactly what Ice-T was doing.
It was Saturday night and I was feeling kind of sporty. Went to the bar, caught me a 40. Got kind of high and kind of drunk, so I kicked the ass of this little punk. Forgot my key, had to ring my bell. My mama came down, she said, who the hell? Wait, mama, wait, it's me, your little son. Before I knew it, my mom pulled the gun. I know who you are, but who the hell is that? I
Yeah, man, and he was doing it in the late 70s.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was crazy. So, yeah, Schoolie D's that guy.
It just goes to show you that hip hop is older than we give it credit for, right? Because you can kind of trace it back to like mid 60s.
Oh yeah, Last Poets, right? And stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Rick
James and James Brown, and there's all this stuff.
100%.
And it's a beautiful thing, right? But where would you say you got your where the hip hop bug bite you? Like, how old were you when that happened?
I was a kid, and I saw. I was into, I liked, I was like hearing EPMD, I was hearing Redman and stuff like that. But, I guess I got bit by the bug. I went to see Cypress Hill and House of Pain when I was a kid. And that was done. It was done for me after that, cause, I've always like, my nickname from the time I was kid was Doobie, Doober, you know what I mean? I grew up around, you know what I mean? So Cypress Hill was like seeing them. I was a kid. They're smoking a big ass bong on stage. They looked like, everybody that I knew. They dressed like everybody I knew. And it was something that was a little bit relatable, like in the fact of like, wow, you could do that, because outside of that, it was all New York guys, you know what I'm saying? And it just wasn't the same, it just wasn't the same. EPMD and, those guys, like the way they dressed, the way they did everything. I love the music, but that's not how I dressed. It's not how I looked. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So,
you related.
I related to Cypress. Right. I related. My mom is, has Irish in her, so having those guys being out there, with the Irish and it was just like, I could just relate, and I just loved it. I loved it, the energy. Oh man, 13.
And you were Doobie
13,
even then.
14.
You were the Doobie.
Well, I was Doobie when I was like 3 years old. I didn't even know what pot was. I was Doobie. And Doober. Yeah. I don't know. My name's Adams. I think it all started with like Adu, and then then my brother was like Doober, Doobie. But, so yeah, I think I was about 13, somewhere in that point.
Okay. And then after that, when you saw that, you knew like, it's a reality. It's a possibility that people that look like me, think like me, are actually making a business out of this, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't think about the business side of things at that point, but I was like, wow, man, I smoke pot and rap. You know what I mean? So, so it started like that.
And New York cats, like you were saying, like that wasn't their focus. Like,
no,
they smoked,
it was hard. Yeah,
but it wasn't like their niche,
Exactly.
Even now, it's not really like a New York rapper that's like heavy into weed,
No, not at all.
But here's the beauty part. Like you mentioned, like Cypress Hill comes out with like a 10-footer or whatever. Beat Real still does that. Like
I got lucky. Now I went to. It's crazy. Is that like I went to Be Real TV. I was up there twice. Did the Green Thumb show twice, and the second time Be Real was there and did the interview. And I was like,
did you the smoke box?
I was so like, I don't be on my fanboy shit. And when I went in and I had no idea that he was gonna do the interview.
Yeah.
Because the first time I was there, like it was just cool. I was just so in love. And I went in, they were like, yeah, Be Real, be out in a minute. I was like, you'll be what? I was like, what? And he came out, man. It was a trip, man. It was a trip, like, sitting next to the guy who like got me.
First of all, he's taller than you would expect, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, for like a stoner, for like a dude that smokes a lot, Be Real's like big, bro. He's built.
Yeah,
he spends a lot of time in the gym. Like if you follow him on like Instagram and stuff, he'll be like, he's like lifting 4 plates. I'm like, fuck, Be Real. Like, where you get this energy from, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't smoke and I'm fat. Like, I don't even want to get up. You know what I mean? Like, how's this dude just pounding away? Like, so it was intimidating a little bit.
Yeah, well, yeah, man. I mean, I was just like, it was a super humbling moment, man, to be like, wow, this guy's like asking me about my music, asking me about my tour, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to ask him mad questions, you know what I'm saying? So, but, like that definitely, that was how I, Cypress was the reason that I started doing music for sure.
Okay, so you accredit them for being a large part of
Absolutely. And then like, as far as actually like going out and doing it, you know, coming into school, in high school, a couple of my friends were in hardcore bands, punk bands.
Yeah.
And, so I was always the guy that was like freestyling after school and bullshit. And, these guys were doing, you know, underage shows and stuff like that. And then they would start letting me come up on stage and freestyle with the band, at their end of their set. So I guess that's really like what got me into it, is being able to be on stage. And just the energy of a crowd and the hardcore, you know, the hardcore punk rock side of things, mosh pits and stage diving and stuff like that. And, you know, that's what got me wanting to do it, like wanting to pursue, like actually having a career and doing it. That's what it was. So I would say I was probably in like, you know, 9th grade or 10th grade. And I was like, all right, I want to be an MC.
That this is what I want to do.
This is what I want to do. Yeah.
Let me jump forward a little bit because I'm interested. When do you think was the moment when you figured out that this actually was working for you? Like, was there a moment when you like, was there a show when you're like, wow, like, yeah, this is what I'm doing?
Yeah. So, you know, those early like punk shows were what made me, you know that I wanted to do it. I didn't think it was something that was like, I wasn't thinking about money, obviously, as a kid. You know, I was like, I want to be an MC, I want to be a rapper, but I wasn't thinking about careers or businesses or anything like that. And then what I think did it is I would do like open mics, and I would do little showcases in Philadelphia, but it was nothing that was, again, it was nothing that I was thinking about a career with. And then I opened up for Doodlebug of Diggable Planets. And he, after my set, he came over and was like, you know, just, you know, very inspiring, giving me props and stuff like that. And then basically, he had a show or two coming up and invited me out to some of his shows. And Doodlebug would bring me up on stage and let me, like, you know, do a 32 or whatever, a cappella during his set. That's when I started to realize, like, well, you know, this is, you know, there's something I could do. I could probably do something with this. These guys, you know, this guy's Grammys, you know, this guy's like kind of taking me under his wing a little bit. And then a good friend of mine, Reef the Lost Cause and King Magnetic, we're all kind of coming up in the same circuit, like doing the same kind of open mics and little showcases in Philadelphia. And they got down with Army of the Pharaohs and basically invited me to go over and do, well, first, History of Violence tour. Jedi Mind Tricks did the History of Violence tour, and we were opening up for that tour. Wow. So that was the first time I left Pennsylvania doing anything. You know, we were just driving behind the bus and like getting our own hotels and like just grinding it out, and did the East Coast, came over here to LA. You know, did the Henry Fonda Theater, was like sold out.
So your first tour was a big tour.
It was a big tour, yeah. Shit. It was a big tour, you know. And then I realized, like, wow, this is something. And then we went over and did 2 festivals in Europe with them. And Vinny, shout out to Vinny and shout out to Reef, because I was like, not only was I a complete nobody with no music that had ever come out or anything like that, but these guys let me go out on stage by myself and do a song before they came on in front of, it was like 30,000 people. Mm-hmm. And I've been chasing the dragon since.
Trying to get that same high the first time.
Hey, I've been chasing the dragon since I came back from that trip, and I was like, yo, this is all I want. You know, like,
this is what I want.
I need to get to a point where I can quit my job, and I need to learn how to book shows, and I need to, like,
amen. You
know, I wasn't able to get an agent or anything like that. I didn't even have music out.
Yeah.
You know, so did a mixtape and, you know, just started grinding like that. And, you know, that was, I guess, 2009. Mm-hmm. So, you know, going almost on 10 years now, you know, chasing that dragon.
right, trying to get that.
But yeah, you know, what I did is I knew nobody was going to do for me. So I just started to, like, try to figure out how to book shows myself. A huge, influence was Danny Diablo. From Scarhead and Crown of Thorns. I met him in New York on that History of Violence tour, and then in the LA stop, he was living in LA, and he was in LA once we got out there. It was like 3 weeks later. He had been home, and he basically put my first record out, which was like kind of a mixtape, and then he started bringing me out on tour. And we did Europe, and we did the US, and we did Canada and stuff like that. And I really learned the ropes, and kind of cut my teeth with him and learned the game and like, you know, the level of like going from 1,000 people to, you know, going to the smaller clubs and like grinding it out and just, you know, like I said, learning the ropes.
Which I think is more important than people want to admit it is. And it's important to, like you said, like you went from like a higher amount to a lesser amount of people, and then that showed you that grind, right? That the people that put you on went through to get to that level.
And then I even went back from that because I was obviously Danny has a following and he has fans that have been around for a decade. So then when I started doing my own, you know, you start even lower than that, you know, build brick by brick. So you go, you know, I was going from 1,000 people at a show to a couple hundred people at a show to then doing Adlib shows where there's 10 people and 15 people and then, you know, building it up from there. So, I just been, you know, going nonstop, you know, kind of like with a Grateful Dead mentality of like, just stay on the road.
Right.
And just, you know, shake hands and kiss babies and hang out, you know, don't sit backstage. Yeah, don't sit backstage. Like hang out with people is one of the main things that Danny taught me is, you know.
More people need to think like that. Especially, I mean, obviously more artists need to think and remember why they're there and who put them there. I think once they get to a certain level, and the level doesn't even need to be that high. Right. They'll get this idea of like, no. My set's at 1:30. I'm gonna get there at 1:25. And,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and it's like I'll watch, like, someone I give gratitude for is like Immortal Technique. I've seen him live plenty of times. And when I get the chance to be backstage now because I'm doing this, he gets there early. And he's there, and I don't know if he's there for sound check, but he's early.
I've watched. It's funny you mentioned Tech. Like, I've watched Tech hang out and say, "Yo, I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna meet everybody after the show," and not leave and have like security in the venues like kind of spazzing out, like because he won't leave until he met everybody that was at the show.
Come out and sign merch in the middle of the show. Like, he doesn't interrupt his set, but I'm saying like, so artists will be blank, and then, you know, that time and he'll go in there, oh yeah, let me sign this merch, take these pictures. And, you know, he goes back to where the artist, but he shows love to his followers.
You have to. I mean, I wouldn't say any names and stuff like that, but there's so many artists
call out names, son. Call out names.
There's so many artists that I, you know, it's almost like they hate their fans. It's almost like they're not, they want to be able to pick the demographic that likes them, you know, and I've seen it so many times where you're like, you know, sitting backstage and these guys have hundreds of fans or 1,000 fans out there, and they're like, they don't want to go out, they don't want to meet, they're making fun of them. You know, they're making fun of the people, and I'm like,
and the funniest part is when it's like it's a crew, and one of the people feels that way, but the other don't. So it makes like they'll see, like you're saying, I don't want to drop names, but like there's this legendary group who not that long ago dropped an album, and they came out and they performed, and two of them were like, yeah, bro, like, yeah, let's take pictures. But one of them just kind of like snuck out. Yeah, and you could say whatever you want, like, you know, go take a shit or what. I get it, I understand, but it was a continuous thing throughout the night. Like, oh, no, it's crowd time. Okay, I'm just going to sneak out. Yeah. I'm just going to sneak out. It's like, why? Why be that dude? These people are here obviously to support you. You can't give them an autograph.
If they go away, they stop.
You go away.
Yeah, right? Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just appreciative of any, like, you know, I was saying like last night or whenever we were in LA, I was like, yo, man, like I'm a high school dropout from Pennsylvania. I'm in Los Angeles, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm in Seattle or wherever I'm at. Like, I'm damn sure going to make sure that I shake everybody's hand for coming out and rocking with me. You know what I mean? And when I get to the point that there's too many people to do it, I'm going to figure out a way to make sure that everybody knows how appreciative I am, you know?
As it should be. And I'm glad that you're learning that, because you're saying you got about a 10-year career coming up soon. And in that time, you've been able to fit a lot of experiences that some artists might not be able to maturely like understand or like take from like, oh, this is the way to do it. This is the right way. And I'm glad that you're thinking that way, because that makes for an artist that, first of all, puts out a lot of product because they care.
Right.
Right. So an artist that puts out a lot of material, someone that knows the fans are expecting it and they want to make, that kind of shit. So it's always good to have an artist that's prolific and dropping stuff. And then by the people that have actually like took you under the wing, dude, those are amazing. All the Jedi Mind Trick camp and all the affiliated acts are just incredibly super dope, super hardcore, super hip hop, and the years of experience and all that stuff,
Yeah.
But let's talk a little closer to home now. Let's talk about Battle Axe.
Better do you? Better do you? Better do you, cause I'm gonna do me. Better do you, cause I'm gonna do me. If you do two, then I'm gonna do three. Everywhere that I'm seen, I keep it OG. You can ask to run away, everybody know me. I got that work, I'm putting in work. You gon' get this work, I'ma give them that work. You gon' make this work, I be giving that work. Sit and watch me work, I got that work.
Look, listen leader, spew ether. That Sensi smoke out the speaker. Psilocybin in the freezer. Hobo with a shotgun, machine gun preacher. Youth gone wild, do as we choose. Refuse to listen, fuck y'all rules. This that PE anthrax noise. We the revolution's voice. I'm cocky, boisterous, mildly. Raps rowdy. My Spanish chick call me Poppy. Got a sharp tongue and a mean body. She cooks and cleans my cannons, but my book's too much to manage. I'm savage, fuck average. Backstabbers wanna carry my baggage.
Bad bitch love the dab.
She scrape wax off the slab, blow smoke in my face, shakes her ass on my lap. I'm on granddad perp, did a few laps round Earth. Keep these kids going berserk. They know how Adlib works.
Better do you, cause I'm gonna do me. If you do two, then I'm gonna do three. Everywhere that I'm seen, I keep it OG. You can ask to run away, everybody know me. I got that work, I'm putting in work. You gon' get this work, I'ma give them that work. We gon' make this work, I be giving that work. Sit and watch me work, yeah, I got that work. This is everything we dreamed it would be. They was looking at us crazy, we was doing it for free. On my itty bitty pipe dream to a cash crop, rather shoot the moon and be remembered as a have-not. They never try it all. What you rhyming for? Nights turn the mornings full of caffeine and Tylenol. Never look back since my first 16. Immerse the scene and let them live through my first dream. We did it for 10 years without a royalty check. Got signed and protégés wanna come for my neck. Zip it down for your spouse, y'all cats with a killer mouse. Grew up 7 exits from Naughty and Gilla House. Gained a following, fan by fans, hymns in the street. Anyone willing to hear, I was giving them heat. Since he star everything to my flesh in the dirt. This our year right here, watch these gentlemen work. Better do you, cause I'm gonna do me. If you do two, then I'm gonna do three. Everywhere that I'm seen, I keep it OG. You can ask to run away, everybody know me. I got that work, I'm putting in work. You gon' get this work, I'ma give them that work. We gon' make this work, I be giving that work. Sit and watch me work, yeah, I got that work.
I want to know how that happened in that relationship.
It's a crazy small world. I did a deal with this independent label that's not around anymore. It's called Red Phone Records, and so when we did the record, they were talking about having a feature. They gave me a budget to get a feature on the record. And Mad Child's name, I didn't even really know. Like I had heard of Swollen Members. I remembered Balance, and I remember the old breakbeat vinyl. A couple of my homies had the vinyl, and rest in peace, my man Brooklyn Payne. But at the time, I had been recording in his tattoo shop. He had a studio, and I was talking to him, and he was like, "Yo, Mad Child, you and Mad Child would sound dope together. Like, you guys should do something." And so we reached out, and at the time, he was with Pink Dragon, was his assistant, was like handling all his stuff, and we sent him a video with that I had done with Slain, and it was Slain and Reef the Lost Cause. And so she hit us back, and she hit the label back, and she was like, "Oh, he's not doing any collabs right now." And then so we're like, "All right, whatever," And then a couple days later, she hit us back, and she was like, "Oh, he saw the video. He's 100% down. He obviously rocks with Slain super hard, so that had piqued his interest. Watching the video, Slain was in it."
Yeah, you got the automatic. Oh, he's not doing it right now.
Yeah.
And then Match was like, oh, slang, reef. Oh, okay. All right, well, let me peep this. You know,
Yeah.
I trust their ear.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So then, so my thing was always, I've never done any kind of business like that where I'm like doing a song with somebody that I never met, and I've never even really like paid for a feature or anything like that. I've only ever worked with people that I know, you know, like we're in the studio, we're vibing out. So I was like weary about the whole thing from the jump. And I was kind of like, it almost never happened because I was like, yo, let's take the money and let's put it into this. Like, fuck a feature. You know what I mean? This, that, and the third.
That's merch money right there.
Exactly. So then I was like, oh, look, man, let me get on the phone with him. So we hit him back up. I said, yo, if he's down to like talk and like, let me see if we get to know each other a little bit, let's do it. You know, I just don't want to do a song and send a beat to somebody and then send something back. And it's like, there's
no
nothing
heart.
organic.
Yeah.
There's nothing about it. I don't even know this guy, you know? And, so Matty, I got on the phone with him. We hit it off, you know, like we're talking. He didn't tell me anything about Battle Axe at the time. We just talked about the record, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. And, I have an older son. I had a kid when I was in school still. And, so I was telling him, I was like, yeah, you know, my son was like Saigon. And, they had that song with Saigon. So, I was like, yeah, I was telling him and Mad said to me, he was like, yeah, you know, I'll call your kid on his birthday. So my son's birthday was like 2 weeks later. I was like, yeah, all right. I'm like, cool, yeah. So sure enough, man, 2 weeks later, this dude shoots me a text and he's like, hey, man, do you want me to, you know, leave that message for your kid? So I was like, wow, this dude's like legit, you know? So then we became friends on the phone, you know, just like talking on the phone, whatever like that. He literally called my son, left him a birthday message. And then I was heading, to Spain and, to do a bunch. I was doing this little run in Spain and I was on my way to the airport and Mad called me and was like, yo, man, have a great trip. When you get back, let's talk about Battle Axe Warriors. And he kind of gave me a very quick description of like what the idea was. So as soon as I got home, I hit him up and it was pretty much a wrap since then, you know. He told me that what it was, you know, as a worldwide community of like-minded people. I had currently at that time, we had a crew in Pennsylvania called Freedom Union, which is very similar. It had nothing to really do with music, but it was based about like trying to build stuff in the community, trying to do some charity work and, you know, just like-minded people, tattoo artists, a mixed martial artist, an MC, a producer, whatever kind of thing. So we kind of, used like our code of conducts and all that kind of stuff and started to merge things. And, you know, Matt brought me out on tour twice and has shown me love, man. He's just a solid guy, man. You know, he popped up at the show in LA last night and he's just a solid guy, man. And, his work ethic is crazy.
Yeah.
You know, like this guy, I was telling the guys I'm on the road with, I just watched Matty book a tour, going from the West Coast to the East Coast to Canada. By the time he got to the East Coast, he had booked a tour from the East Coast to the West Coast to go back. you know, like it's like nonstop. So
that's hustle. Right
yeah, man.
Like
so like I really respect the way he works, the way he tours, especially because I feel like I'm a touring artist much more so than a studio artist. And the way he tours is just relentless and
Road Warrior.
Yeah.
Road Warrior for sure.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's what it was. I think the movement is you know, I think it gets a little bit of heat you know, on the internet, you know, but in real life, I think it's a beautiful thing. Like when you meet the actual people that are members, when you meet the actual guys that are like organized and they're having, you know, monthly meetings and they're doing Toys for Tots and they're doing food drives and they're doing coat drives and they're going and getting scarves and stuff for the homeless people and this type of stuff. Like that's what I'm in it for. I'm not really in it for like a music side of things, you know, to like try to like boost a career or anything like that. But as far as like the charity side of things, I love it.
There's another great artist in the IE. His name is Curtis King. And Curtis King had the number 4 album in the country. It's independent artist. And what he gives it credit to is, before the album, about a year, he started doing, kind of self-help videos for MCs and producers because he's done all that. And because of those, he's been able to work with like Kendrick and all these other people of that caliber just on the fact that he gives back, he says. He goes, dude, I just give, and then the world, the audience, everybody gives back to me, which is why I'm an independent artist and have the number 4 album. It's because people trust me. They see that I'm just a dude trying to help out, you know, and karma comes back and like, whoa, here's tenfold or here's whatever. Yeah. And that's a good way for artists to think about it. And I think it goes hand in hand with going back to the audience is you forget that you're very little compared to everything, and any little effect, any positive effect that you can have in anybody's life could be life changing for them, right? Yeah. Matt Child coming out, that was life changing for him to say, yeah, I'll do that changed your trajectory. Yeah. Who knows where you could have been? I'm sure you would have been you anyways, regardless. But he gave you, here's this trajectory, this new path to walk down now. You know what I'm saying? And if he would have just said no, like he originally said, because he has to, right? You can't say yes to everybody. You can't, people will bug you forever. So him saying, okay, I'll check it out, and then giving back by hooking up with an unknown artist and, that kind of stuff. Look at him now. Because of that, he has a success. Yeah. And the Battle Axe Warriors are an actual thing now. And, we're out there doing good and we're doing all these other stuff.
Absolutely.
It's a beautiful thing to think that way.
It's beautiful, man. Like there's not, it's rare that there's a show anywhere, that somebody's not showing up, rocking that skull and repping Battle Axe Warriors, man. It's like, it's a beautiful thing, man. It's just
to me. I've been listening to them again since I was maybe 15. I was a kid, bro, and I was the one dude in the high school that had that. I bring this up a lot because I'm very proud of it. I had a Swollen Members Balance tape, cassette tape, and I remember showing my homies like, "Yo, fuck everything else that's on right now, bro. This is what you gotta listen to." And then them coming out and be like, "Nah, whatever, bro. Like, we're not into that." And then me like loaning them the tape, and then them coming back like, "Whoa,
yeah."
First, Prevail.
Well,
right?
as soon as I got down, I went back and got the whole discography and
which is an amazing I mean, and then you talk about the side projects like Defenders of the Underworld and all the other mixtapes that they did as a label. Yeah. Those alone are incredible. And then the Swollen stuff, you start getting Ballads and Bad Dreams and you're just like, whew. Yeah. The first thing that stood out to me, honestly, was Matt Child's Balance lyrics are so original to anything else at that time, like untouchable, right? And then Prevail's flow and deep and energy.
Prev is that guy, man.
But I don't know, man. I think the instrumentals were, dude. Yeah. Rob.
Well, Rob is the illest.
Amazing.
I wouldn't even consider it would be tough for me to even think about doing a record without Rob at this point. Because he's.
How many would you say you've done? Like 90%?
Well, so he did Primitive Tomorrow. I flew out to Vancouver and recorded with him and did the whole album with him. The EP, we put out a vinyl together, me and Rob. And I flew out to Vancouver for that. And then, the record, the Highway record, which is, he produced 2 tracks on that. So that was my first time working with Rob, was on the Highway. And then after he sent me those beats, that kind of shaped that album. And I knew, I was like, yo, next time I need to go to Vancouver and, record
is where the goods are coming from.
Yeah, I need to record there and, sit there and just take the city in, take the, the best weed is in Vancouver.
Is it though?
Hey, man.
OC got a lot to say about that, bro.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, Cali's that work, man, but
we gotta get that segment. We gotta get an Adlib segment where you have OC Chronic and you got Vancouver and you just gotta go out, bro.
Yeah,
figure it out.
I don't know. It's a tough one. That's a tough one.
No, I can see it. There's a lot of greenery up there. The air's fresh. I get it.
Vancouver has that work.
Okay. Yeah. No, but yeah. So the combination of them 3 together, to me, was something. Because they're all completely original and they're all completely dope. And they only seem to be getting better as they're dropping stuff, right? And then Matt Child had those issues, and then that turns everybody like, oh, I don't know what's going on. And then, you know, the label starts to kind of like just slowly dissipate. And as a hip hop head, I was really like, damn, this is going to suck. I'm not going to hear any more Swollen. I'm not going to hear no more like these battle action coming out. But luckily, Matt Child, being who Matt Child is, came back strong and has been doing his thing now for a good amount of the decade.
5 years.
Right?
Yeah.
Just like, I'm Matt Child, I'm back, and this is what I'm dropping. And then the beautiful part is that it's not him trying to mimic balance.
Right.
If anything, it's him trying to like, yo, that was this. This is the new Matt Child.
Yeah, and Prev has Alpha Omega.
Yeah.
Which is super dope with him and Neff. I was lucky. I did a tour with those guys in Canada, and it was amazing. Their stuff is awesome. And I know Swollen's not like, they're going to do stuff, you know, I think they have something in the works now. So.
Oh, dope. New album?
Yeah.
Something. Something.
Yeah, some things
dope.
in the works, yeah.
And it just.
I think they're coming up on their 20th anniversary soon, right?
Of just being a group?
I think.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, I think so.
They got to do something special, though. Yeah. That would be dope, man. Yeah, I'm still just a kid whenever I pop in. And then luckily they redid, they went back and they released something. Was 1997 it's called, I think. It's a mixtape of like the older, the tracks that I had already heard.
Oh,
just
right.
That weren't on albums, or that were, you know, you had to collect collection of them.
B-sides and yep.
Any of that was super dope. You know, Matt Child on like, so I'm still very much a kid whenever I hear anything about Matt Child, Swollen. I'm like, what was that? What was that? What's going on over there? And Prevail's someone who's taken, the credibility he's gotten in Canada and done like show. I see him like on cooking shows, like he's on morning TV shows.
I think he's going to be, I think he's looking to be the mayor of Vancouver soon.
Is he really?
I think legit. Like I've heard him talk about it in interviews, and you know, you know, he brought it up a couple times when we were on the road. Like that's what he's, you know, he's aiming to do some politics. Yeah,
dude, that would elevate hip hop.
I think he would win. I think he would win instantly. And he would probably be the best one for the job, man. He's so smart. Yeah. And he's such a good person.
Yeah.
If you ever meet somebody that has something bad to say about Prevail, then then you have to question what the fuck they're up to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to, because that guy's just.
I've met Prevail once, right? Super cool dude. Smaller than I expected. Cause I've seen, I mean, obviously you're growing up as a kid, you know, you picture him, but then I've seen like pictures of him.
You see him next to Matt, and he looks like he's.
Wow. Yeah, that's probably it. But none of the Swollen crew is, considerably tall. No, you know what I'm saying? Like none of them are like, you know, but yeah, Prevail's like, I've seen like pictures of him, he's like huge and he's like ripped. But then I met him and I'm like, you're not that tall, bro. All right. Okay.
That's so true.
Yeah, I'm just saying. It kind of.
Yeah, no, it's so true.
And this is the thing that I've noticed from meeting these people like Be Real. You know, they say like, Sick Jackin, who's like 6'5" and she's like a huge dude. You're like, holy shit, man. How'd you, you know, and you never.
Yeah.
And Be Reals are like a huge monster just walking around, you know what I mean?
Bugs, yeah, the big guys, yeah.
But yeah, so getting to know them on those levels to me was super humbling. It just took me back.
Yeah.
It just took me back. And then Prevail shaking your hand and coming up to you like, bro, thank you for showing up.
Prev's another one that's like, he's in the crowd. He's at the merch table. Mm-hmm. He's carrying boxes. Mm-hmm. You know, like he's not.
And this is gonna be the mayor one day, bro.
Yeah,
and he's already carrying boxes. And shit.
And he's not on his rock star thing, man. He's like, you know, like he knows, like when he gets to stage, he's on his rock star shit. But as soon as he's off the stage, man, he's back to being, you know, just a humble, appreciative,
real
artist.
Dude.
Yeah.
And I'll say this real quick. The one thing about me realizing that he was a real dude was he went on stage and he was performing a song that I know word by word, and he forgot his own lyrics. And it wasn't a big hiccup. He's prevailed. He recovered. But I'm wording the words, and I'm like, oh, that's not the right word. And I could tell Prevail was like, yeah, okay. So to me, it just like brought back to reality, like, oh, yeah, this is a dude. It's just some dude who loves to rap, who you follow, and you know his lyrics better than he knows it. Plus also there's a 20-year-old song, you know, and he's not repeating it like you are, and, you know, other stuff. But that to me was real humbling, like a real thing, like, oh, okay, your superheroes are men, you know, like you, who had a passion, and that kind of makes you feel better about something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
if you go see a Kanye show, like, yeah, it's cool, but half of it is fireworks and bullshit and da-da-da-da-da, you know?
Right.
He relies heavily on the samples, and then when you see a Prevail or like, it's just like a lyricist show, being dropped, that's something special.
Doing freestyle for 5 minutes and
It's a piece,
naming things, calling out, this guy has his shirt on, this guy has his hat on, and yeah, he's amazing.
Prevail is that freestyle dude though?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because I know Macho not too much. Macho relies a lot on rhythms, at least when it comes to performing and stuff like that. Right?
Yeah. Prev is that freestyle guy, man. He's one of the illest. You know, yeah, he's crazy with it.
The reason that I wanted to talk about them, because you did the Battle Axe thing, but having somebody as experienced as Macho kind of accepting you at such an early stage in your career, right? Do you think, how are you viewing that now?
Well, he shaped, all those guys that I mentioned, Mad Child, Danny Diablo, Slain, Paz, they all kind of helped shape, especially the behind the scenes, not maybe necessarily like content wise, but the way I view the business, the way
like you approach things.
Yeah, they approach the behind the scenes stuff, the way of little tricks and little things to like help the situation better and to have a better turnout or to have a better impact or to have a better show and like that kind of stuff. And Mad, especially out of everybody that I mentioned, him and Danny, I would say, are guys that, Mad has no problem telling you if something's whack. There's a lot of people that won't do that.
You need that.
And you need that, and, things about my delivery and like I said, not necessarily content, but things about delivery, little tricks about, having better impact in songwriting and, structure and stuff like that. Matt has really helped me with, Danny has helped more with, just the way to maneuver through tour and the way to, approach things and to approach the team and to make sure that, everything is on point and, everything from packing the van to, that kind of stuff. But Mad, like the approach and even cadences and stuff like that and saying, yo, man, like, slow it down here, or maybe, hey, do it, blah, 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 blah. And, so I think that's probably what Mad has helped me with the most. And then besides like little tricks that are in like, contracts and stuff like that, to make sure that you're not, getting played and like a lot of that kind of stuff people hold to their chest, and they don't want to give that kind of knowledge to other people, especially up and coming people. Nobody wants the next guy to make money, usually. And Mad isn't like that. Like he wants the guys on his team to be killing it because he understands that makes it,
then we all kill it.
Yeah, that we're all, yeah. So, I think that's probably the most, as far as that, like just creative criticism, and being told, yo, Lib, like, chill out, maybe don't be so loud right there, you know what I mean? Because I tend to get loud, you know what I mean?
Because
chill out.
Even creative criticism could be interpreted wrong, or it could have bad intentions behind it. It doesn't matter. It's really like the reason behind the criticism, really like the intention of why they're criticizing you. Yeah. That's going to really make you pay attention to it or not. And as it should be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have to trust whatever you're delivering is dope. But if there's someone there that can polish it because they've been there why not listen? Yeah. But that's an issue with a lot of upcoming artists also, like you're saying. They don't want, if they're up a little bit, they don't want to really reach out because they don't feel confident that they're at where they want to be, or they want to be the leader of the crew. So they want everybody to kind of fall. You get the 50 Cent G Unit thing going. You're like, oh no, I'm hero. You guys are this, that, and the other. Yeah. But Match Out is definitely not that dude. That's what you're saying. Yeah,
no, man. He's done nothing but like try to help me and, you know, like, hey, he never had to bring me on tour. He never had to do anything. You know, none of that stuff. Like, you know, he does collabs with all kinds of people. Mm-hmm. So, the fact that, you know, just from doing a simple collab to being, you know, to having, you know, him want me to be one of the faces of Battle Axe, or bringing me on the road and that kind of stuff. And I don't take it lightly. You know, I recognize that, like, you know, he saw something in me and helped me. You know, so everything that he says, I listen and I take it in and I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, I try to figure out how to, apply it into my career, you know?
Hey, okay. So talk to me about the new project. I want to know how that happened and what you got going on, and then the tour and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So, Primitive Tomorrow, I did this record different than anything I did before. I was coming out here. I met with Kevin Zinger, prior, like maybe 2 tours ago. And Kevin asked me, you know, like, you know, what was going on, like who was putting my record out and da-da-da-da. And we had thrown around the idea of doing something, with Battle Axe and with Kevin. And, so I went home and I was thinking, man, I need to make the best record of my life. You know what I mean? If I'm going to do it with these guys, like, especially Kevin is like, you know, SRH and Suburban Noise, like, this is like the guy, you know? So what I did is, I went and I recorded just a ton of songs, just mad demos. I had beats from, you know, Level 13, Ali Arms, Sharky, B3 the Shark, Nemesis. And I just recorded hella songs. And then, I picked, 9 that I felt were, out of like maybe 30 songs. I picked 9 that I really loved, you know, and that I felt made a good project. And then what I did is I flew out to Vancouver. I got with Rob and brought those demos with me. And all those producers were cool with Rob basically going in and adding textures to the beats, taking things out, adding things, doing whatever he wanted to do. So basically what Rob and I did is we took those 9 songs, those 9 demos. We made another, you know, 3 songs, while we were out there. And basically he added different things to all those tracks, whether it was bringing in a live bassist or a guitarist or him playing synth or breaking out the mini Moog or whatever it was. So we had multiple producers on every track. Mm-hmm. Some of the songs have 3 producers on them. Mm-hmm. And, so that, you know, my main goal with this record was to be like, if this is the last album I ever make, you know, if this is the only record that I ever have, I want this to be my message, you know, so 50 years down the line, I want this record to be the one that my grandkids listen to, and this is who Grandpa was, you know, and, so that was like really the focus, the whole record. I just wanted to make sure that, you know, my message was out there.
Can you picture our grandkids though? Like, they're like, oh yeah, that's Grandpa hitting that bomb, bro. Like, he's like ripping the bomb. Like, yeah, that's Grandpa fucking lines off the fucking glass table. Like, yeah, that was Grandpa. He was just a mad one. Like, that's going to be our grandkids. Like, our, you know, our grandparents were like, oh yeah, they travel 6 miles on feet to get to school. Yeah. Our kids are going to be, oh, he was all sleeved and tatted and fucking, you know what I mean? Like, wow, can you?
Well, you know, and so this record, I think, is a lot less of that. What that was my, you know, the older records. I think this record's a little more mature.
This is the mature Adlib.
Yeah, okay. a little more mature, but still party.
Smoking the wooden pipe.
Yeah, now we're smoking the wooden pipe.
Okay. Yeah, that's still the glass.
now we're smoking the nice glass. But no, I just wanted this album to be how old records used to be, like where you hit play and you just let it play. It wasn't like, oh, I want to listen to track 5 and oh, number 7 is fucking really slapping. And I didn't want it to be like that. I wanted it to be, I didn't care about trying to make a single. I didn't want to try to like make like a video song or whatever like that.
Okay.
I just wanted this to be, you know, like I'm like super heavy into like old 60s psychedelic music, and I'm into all kinds of music. So I just wanted to have a good representation of that. And let Rob do his thing sonically. I wanted the album to sound, you know, just next level. I wanted it to just play and be different, be experimental, and have, you know, just not fit the regular mold, you know? So that's really what
you think you've accomplished that?
Yeah. I mean, I feel this is the best music that I've ever been part of.
So this is the best that Adlib has to offer at this point.
110%, on every level, sonically, lyrically, content-wise, even down to the artwork. You know, every approach, I believe is the best that I've ever been part of. Spent the most time on it. We sat on the record. The record was done a year before we put it out. You know, mastered. You know, finished and mastered and done. And we sat on it and just made sure that, like, I, you know, did the videos first, and I just wanted to make sure everything was right this time. I'm a guy I've always rushed things, you know. It was the first time I didn't. So
that comes with the inexperience, I feel, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was the same way when I first started doing the show. I was rushing the interviews out and not giving them any time to breathe or prep, and then you can't not but help suffer because you're just like, instead of letting it simmer and be like, maybe I can go back and fix this, or maybe this will sound better here or whatever. Yeah. And it just comes with experience.
And I'm super proud of my last, you know, the last records that I put out, you know, Teenagers from Mars. I love it. The Highway. I love it. Even the Bad News, that I did with Universal. I love all of those records. But, Primitive Tomorrow, I just feel it's you know, just kind of what I want to be known for, you know what I mean? I want to be known for that record, and I'm super proud of it.
Let me ask you this, because I'm wondering it, and I don't know what your involvement was or where you stand. But getting the love that you're getting now and all that stuff, it also has to come with some negativity around it, unfortunately, just because the human nature is, why don't I have what he has, or why does he get to do this or blank, right? How have you been able to kind of keep that at bay, or have you been able to keep it at bay and keep it out of your records, or have you added it to your records?
Good question. Well, cause I truly don't give a fuck, you know, like I truly, like, this is the way I look at it. Like I said, I'm a high school dropout. You know what I'm saying? I love
that. Like, bro, like,
yeah. Like, I'm just being real. Like, I'm a high school dropout. I was a runaway as a kid. You know, I've been homeless, like legit homeless, not like, you know what I mean? Like, and, I have a nice place that I live in. I have a beautiful wife. I have 2 kids. I have 2 cars. You know, I have, and nothing flashy or anything like that, but I've been able to build these things, you know, like, my wife has the furniture and stuff that she wants. We've been able to build these things. My wife is also independent. So she doesn't have like guaranteed money at the end of the week. She has a family business, little store, and so we're both independent. And the way I look at it is like, I'm so blessed to be able to do what I love. I've been to Europe 5 times. I've been to Canada like 20 times. I've been to every state in the United States. And I'm coming from being a runaway. So no hate. Nobody can tell me shit. You know what I'm saying?
So there's nothing you're going to tell me that's going to...
there's nothing. Yeah, you could, this dudes could say I'm whack. You could say that this, that, and the third. I'm like, all right, cool.
Cool. I'm going to head back on tour.
Yeah.
About 5 minutes. So
cool. I'm going to go home to my family. I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm chilling. Like, there's people that don't think that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way I look at it. It's like, yo, for every person that thinks I'm whack, there's somebody who does it, who appreciates, or guys who are coming up to me and telling me, yo, man, have your name tattooed on me. You know, I have your lyrics tattooed on me.
Yeah.
So like, you know, and the other thing is I was telling the guys last night, man, usually the people that are hating on you are artists themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and like, so you have to question that. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to take that with a grain of salt because it's like, come on, man. You know, everybody's running the same race, I guess, right? So people try to trip you up.
Which is another question I have because, you know, Match out going through his issues with recent artists, right? How was that ever an involvement in your part? Did you ever, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure he didn't go like, hey, yo, I need you guys to roll with me on this or whatever. But he did have, you know what I'm saying? Like,
with the snack?
Yeah, with the snack because he did have like Demrick in the back and he had so it was like dudes that were like obvious, like, fuck you. Like,
he was, they were, you know, here's the thing with that whole situation. Number one, the reason I didn't do any of the interviews and anything like that is because those SDK guys have always shown me love when I'm in Canada. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That said, Matt Charles is my brother. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I looked at it like an MC battle.
Yeah.
I didn't look at it like anything past that. Anybody like here's the thing, man. Them guys live in, they at the time, they're from the same city, man. Like, to think that these guys are gonna bump into each other here or there is like stupid for anybody to think. You know, so like it's a rap battle. It's not like I think we all know like the difference between some street shit and some rap battle.
Right.
And like kids on the internet take it like they jump off the bridge with stuff like that and like, you know, fuck this guy and fuck that guy, but like it's a rap battle, man. And I think that Mad was, you know, the only disadvantage that he had was that he was on tour. You know, we had just did Canada. I think we did 35 or 36 shows in Canada. And then Demrick, him, and Pimpton went straight with only a 2-day break into America and had another like 30 some shows. So like, dude's been on the road for 2.5 months. And these songs come out or whatever like that. I think he did a great job of doing what he could, like finding a studio. Yeah, dude had to go find a studio in Montana. You know what I'm saying?
Not wildly hip hop town, sure.
You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, like anybody who's been on the road for any amount of time, past a week or 2 weeks, you're not thinking about writing songs or like writing like, you know what I'm saying, battles. While you're doing a 10-hour drive every day. And
it's gotta be tough.
Yeah. So I think Matty did great, man. And he did what he was supposed to do. You know, I did think it was lame that the guys put out 3-4 songs. You know, like I think it could have been a classic kind of, you know, especially for like Canadian hip hop. I think it could have been pretty classic if they all would have just, you know, Snack would have dropped his, Matty would have dropped his, and everybody could have kind of just picked. You know what I mean? It kind of kept, it kind of kept going. It was just, you know what I mean? I think it was a little bit long-winded, but you know, I seen Snack, you know what I'm saying? He showed me, you know what I mean? He very respectful. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm not going to speak bad about anybody on a personal level. I don't really know those guys. I know that Mercules has come to my shows, you know, and just shown love. So, you know, as far as that went, I just looked at it like a battle, like any other battle, you know? Yeah.
And it is kind of like, this remind me of a situation. I don't know if exactly that, but I remember I had a friend one time who got in a fight with this dude, and this dude like beat his ass, right? And then, you know, but he didn't kill him or nothing. He just whipped his ass, and then they walked away, whatever. And then he got mad at me, and he's like, why didn't you back me up, bro? Why didn't you back me? I'm like, dog, it was a 1-on-1.
You were shooting a fair one.
And you got your ass whipped, bro. Had the other dude jump in, now it's a different story. But
right.
Dude, like, this was you, homie. And he was upset because he got his ass whipped.
Yeah.
But, you know, I thought it at the time, even at 15, 16, I was like, well, this is 1-on-1, dog. Like, I'm not.
A fair one's a fair one.
A fair one's a fair one. You got your ass kicked. That's what it is.
Fair one's a fair one.
And Matt Child's not going to need any help lyrically, right? But it was just interesting to me to see.
I will say this, and it's not a shot at Snack or anything, but I do find it was interesting that they have the king of the dot is a huge battle league in Canada. And I do find it very interesting that right from the jump, Mad was like, yo, let's
do it right.
And I don't need to make $1, do it all for charity. Mm-hmm. And nobody wanted to do that. So I do find that very, and I said that from the very jump.
It's important to point that out.
Yeah, I thought it was a very important thing. Like, making videos about somebody and doing songs and like sitting at your house and planning it out. That's one thing, but you want to talk about you're the better MC. All right, well, you want to start a battle? Let's battle. Let's do it in front of people. Let's do it. Let people judge.
And that's really the only way that you're ever going to contest that you're better, quote, than Match Out, because you can't fuck with the catalog. You're not going to mess with that. Right. You can't fuck with the legacy in Canada. You're not going to fuck with that. The only real way to say, oh yeah, I'm a better rapper is if you out rap him. And at this point, you haven't done that. So all this back and forth, it's unnecessary.
Exactly. I mean, look, Maddie's, I think, the guy tours in America, lives in LA now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that he was ever really worried about the situation. You know what I'm saying? And that's better asked. He's better asked that. But, I think he replied because I think he did it for Canada. I think he was like, yo, like my Canadian fans deserve me to say something back. Yeah. And he put himself and I think because of his fans and because of his love for his country and for his fans, he put himself at a disadvantage going into a studio that and like not having beats and like, you know what I'm saying? Like needing to like kind of shuffle around when the other guy was being able to be well prepared and put out well prepared music. Obviously, again, it's not a shot at Snag, but I don't think for a minute that those songs were just like he was just making them one day and then putting them out the next day. I'm in the game, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I know the game. Like
only a handful of people could do that. And
them videos were edited pretty fucking good. You know what I'm saying? Now, you could change a line or two. You know what I'm saying? You could change a line or two, whatever like that. But I think that they were, and it's almost you almost got to take your hat off to them because it was very well calculated.
Yeah.
And I think that they did what they, hats off to them. They did what they did what they were out to do. And that was to help build Snag's name. And hey, I told Matt at the time too, like, there's a guy from Vancouver, man, who came up listening to you, came up under you. Yeah. He wants his spot now. You know what I mean? Now this guy's out for, you know what I mean? Like, Maddie moved to LA.
There's ways of being that without going through that. And I'll just put an example. Other Canadian artists who have been doing it for a long time, who don't necessarily need to go at the king. They don't need to go at
but everybody wants that belt though, right?
Yeah, but you need like your copyrights and like these dudes who are just so dope by themselves. They don't need to be like, hey, yo, fuck you. Someone come battle me. Like, they don't need that.
Right. No, I agree. But so at the same time, I think that with that particular situation, I think that dude was torn. And he just looked at it like, look, man, like, I'm the guy in Vancouver now. Mad lives in LA.
Okay, I can see it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is my city now. You know what I'm saying? And I think he just wanted to try to put that in stone.
But yeah, so the reason I brought it up was not to like pin you into a corner or nothing, but it was to like want to know how did you visualize the situation, and also, and maybe at that, because you were starting, because this was already like 2-3 years ago. Yeah. So the Battle Axe involvement must have been still fresh. Yeah. Maybe you didn't want to be like, yeah, I'm gonna jump up and blah blah blank.
No, I mean, listen, if Mad would have told me, yo, look, man, like, we're gonna set up this battle and blah blah blah. Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm not worried about my I'm not worried about my side of things. Like, I would have did whatever was the case. But I told Mad, I said, yo, those guys have always shown me love. I don't have no problem with any of them. Mad never asked me to get involved, so I just fell back and I told everybody, yo, let's just enjoy the fireworks because I'm enjoying it. Yeah. Like, yo, like I ain't gonna front. Like
they were fun.
I ain't, man. I'd be lying. I'd be lying if I didn't say that I didn't, like, as a hip hop fan, be able to step away from being like, yo, that's my boy, and just listen and enjoy it. Yeah, they were getting at each other.
Oh, they were.
You know what I'm saying? Like can't nobody front on Snack. Like, hey, people act like Snack can't rap. Like, it's some bullshit. You know what I mean? The dude could rap his balls off. He's dope. Matt is super dope. Like, let's watch these guys battle, man. You know what I mean? Let's enjoy it.
Yeah. So, you're getting along pretty good with everyone at Battle Axe.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I don't have any qualms, any issues, man.
Are we signed with them, or are we just working with them project to project? Like, what's the official status?
Well, I signed with Faction Music.
Yeah.
Which is Kevin Zinger and Kevin Zinger is owner of Battle Axe Records with Mad Child. So we were originally going to do the record just straight through Battle Axe. But Faction is a new company out here in LA, and the team, there's a bigger team, so we did put it out officially, like, under Battle Axe Records. But we're using the Faction team, so we're able to get more bigger team.
Yeah, no doubt.
So
because even Mad Child, I think, was signed to Faction.
Correct.
For a while, right? And maybe Prevail, maybe Swollen as a group, I think, was Suburban for a little bit, right?
Suburban Noise. So Kevin Zinger owns Suburban Noise, SRH, Battle Axe, Faction. He's a partner in all these companies, and Kevin Zinger is someone who, even before I even knew what Battle Axe anything was, I knew who Kevin Zinger was. I knew about Suburban Noise. Obviously, I knew about the Cottonmouth Kings and, Potluck and, Johnny Richter and all these guys. I knew about all these guys, Big B. So just being able to get on Kevin's radar was a big deal for me.
Yeah.
Especially being a kid from the East Coast. And having a company like Stoners Wreaking Havoc getting behind you, I was like, yes. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
So that's officially where it's at right now. We'll see what the future holds. I still have my hands in Sensi Star, which is an independent label in Philadelphia. I put my last 2 records out with those guys. They're some of my very best friends. So we have our own brand. And I also have my own brand, Rebel Hippies. So, I'm just working. I'm just kind of keeping my hands in everything and, trying to juggle and make sure I make everybody proud.
Where can we find the album? Where can we check it out?
BattleAxeWarriors.com. You can go to BattleAxeWarriors.com for the physicals. For digital, it's available everywhere. But yeah, you can get the bundles and stuff on BattleAxeWarriors.com.
Dope.
On the official site, yeah.
Now, I want the people to get to know you a little better. So I got a couple segments we'll knock out real quick so they get to know who you really are, who I really dig, mentally and spiritually, bro, because I like to dig deep. Give me your top 5 musical influences. Now, they don't have to be all hip hop, or they can be all hip hop. In a particular order, in a non-part, just your top 5.
My top 5. My top 5 would be Sex Pistols, Grateful Dead, Jimi Hendrix, Bob Marley.
Give me one more. I need one more.
I have to go with Cypress Hill.
Nice. Okay. I like that top 5. Strong. It's varied, and I could see the different influences. I like that. Yeah. That's what's up.
Johnny Cash is an honorable mention there too.
Who?
Johnny Cash.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Johnny Cash, an honorable mention for sure.
Okay. All right. Give me your bottom 5. I need your dirt, just trash 5, just hate. You don't understand. You don't get. Yeah, just bands or MCs, or you just like, ugh. What is this? I need your bottom 5.
If I don't like it, I don't even listen to it.
You would think that's the way things work in life. It's not. Like, I can say, I don't know little whatever, but I have to fucking hear that shit
Yachty,
everywhere.
Little Yachty.
Little Uzi, little Yachty.
Uzi Vert.
I don't know if I know anyone or like anyone that has little in their name. I can't think of a little that I fuck with.
5 that I can't hate, or that I don't like. Oh, what do I do? What's the guys that sound like fucking Pearl Jam? What are they, Nickelback? I can't stand that. That shit sucks.
Nickelback with arms. What is that? The
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, fuck those guys. Let me see. Wow.
All right. They're gonna send a diss track out for you know it.
That's good. That's a great question. I'm trying to think of who Nickelback for sure.
Nickelback.
You know
twice.
who I don't like? I never liked Linkin Park. I never liked Linkin Park. Everybody likes them. I never saw what everybody liked in them.
None of their shit.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know because I never heard their records, but so I'm not really a good judge because maybe their albums are amazing. I don't know, but I never understood.
They're good if you're 16-year-old. That's it. Hey, if you're like going through like 16-year-old bullshit, they're good to listen to.
Yeah,
like,
I never understood
kind of
those guys.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a hip hop artist that like I just don't get it. I mean, I guess like that Little Yachty.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I don't really, but I'm not gonna lie though. We're just like trying to fuck around and like laugh and watching some of his videos and like
and your head was bouncing a little
and
bit.
I was like, I get it a little bit.
Oh no,
I get it a little bit. I mean,
collabo coming up. Bro.
No, it's not.
Forget
it's not my
it.
twist. It's not my twist. But the guy's definitely funny. I don't know if he even takes himself
funny.
seriously. Yeah, I don't think he even takes himself seriously.
Here, I'll tell you somebody that I hate that I tell people and they tell me the same answer. And what I tell them is, well, is he a fucking comedian or is he an MC? I hate Tyler, the Creator, bro. I can't stand Tyler, the Creator. I just think he's like...
You didn't like the Yonkers joint?
I think... No. I just think he's... I can't stand that kind of shit. It just bugs me, bro. Like, this motherfucker, I don't want to hear satanic shit. Like, I'm not with this vibe that you want to share a room with Tyler, the Creator? You want to like...
No.
Live, you know what I'm saying?
I surely don't.
Exactly.
I surely don't.
I want that bumping through my, like conscience and system.
I never got is,
it's another little.
Yeah, one of them low. You just put the littles in in one thing. And
Uzi, little panda. I don't know.
I never understood none of that, man. None of that mumble rap shit is my twist, man. Like any of them guys, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
And man, who else?
If you got one more, give it to me. If not, it's cool. I understand.
Yeah, I want to have 5. I'm trying to think of who I really
Nickelback, Little Uzi, and
all the littles,
and the littles.
And
so give me one more. You
know who else I never liked? I never liked Fred Durst. And what was his band?
Come on, don't lie now.
Yeah, no, never.
Come on now. You were bumping the Limp Bizkit.
Never Cookie, nope. Limp Bizkit, there they are. Who I do love is DJ Lethal.
Oh, okay.
I love DJ Lethal, who was part of that group. But I never understood that either. Yeah. I was never really into that.
So what? You know what? So was the bassist. The bassist was dope, bro. But
the one with the face that painted his face.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm with you on the Fred. I remember, dude. I just recently heard that Method Man track he did.
Yeah.
Remember that? No.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Fred.
Come on,
what is
Meth.
It? Meth. What's happening over here, bro?
Meth.
But I did love that everybody was like fucking with them, and then they dissed the wrong person. That it just.
Yeah, just fizzled
after
out.
M, it just
I never liked
Ja
Rule either. You know, like I never liked. I never liked. Never liked Ja Rule either. Never was. I was never a fan. Never understood what people. I thought he was like a fake DMX. I never understood what people was.
Everybody came out saying that. Like, what is it? Then he started doing all these love songs with Ashanti and J Lo and shit.
Yeah.
So no Ja Rule for you.
No Ja Rule for me. No.
All right, I'm with that. Good. See, you get to know your mentality and what's.
He's probably a cool ass dude though. I hosted a Ja Rule show in Pennsylvania years ago, and he was cool as shit. But
how was Ja Rule received in Pennsylvania?
It was packed.
It was.
I mean, the guy got, you know what though? It was crazy because I was like having this almost conversation. Like I was like backstage talking shit almost. And then he's on, and I'm like, damn, that's a hit. Damn, that's a hit. Damn. Like, this guy's performed for like 2 hours. I'm like, damn, I know every one of these songs. I would start wondering, like, do I dislike him? Cause I know every fucking word of all these songs. So maybe I'm a fucking fan. I don't know.
Hey, it could happen. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't like something doesn't mean you don't get to hear it, bro. I get to hear shit especially doing this, bro. I get sent shit, and God bless you. Please keep sending them. It's fucking awesome. But you got to get an idea. It's been 4 years. You got to know what I like and what I'm going to say yes to. Like, you can't be sent, dude. One time, I bullshit you not, I got sent a video of these dudes rapping, but they're doing meth while they're doing, like, they're rotating and they're like blowing it into the camera. Like, I'm thinking, poor camera guy, just fucking meth in his face. And like, and I'm like, yes, okay, yeah, I'm going to put you on, bro. Hey, these guys, these meth brothers. I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying?
Meth brothers. Amazing.
It just, I don't know. It's just funny to me. Okay, cool.
Come on. He was asking me where I was going. Where I'm going. What's this guy talking about? Look. Hey. Come on. City to city we go. You got that sticky rolling. You sipping something, fill your cups. Do what we want until our time is up. We keep it lit, we turn it up. Wild as fuck, we tear it up. Ain't no law, we live it up. Do what we want until our time is up. If you riding with me, buckle up, we going up. Sticky in the ziggy, biggie bumping in the trunk. Indie out the trunk, that hippie cool as fuck. But I don't trust nobody, that Millie in the tuck. Philly born, that boy be thinking with his gut. Keep it pumped, DYI, that's how you come up. Went from Reggie in the Dutch to Hetty's fresh cut. Little Henny in the cup, turn a housewife to a slut. They say we going up, that means it's going down. I got this pack of loud, light it up, let's pass it round. My head up in the clouds, I can't see the ground. Fuck these rapper clowns, they don't want me round, but they can't keep me down. This how freedom sound. I come through your town, lift you off the ground. I'm here to shut them down, I'm here to shut them up. I know they mad as fuck, seeing that I'm going up. City to city we go up. You got that sticky rolling up. You sipping something, fill your cups. Do what we want until our time is up. We keep it lit, we turn it up. Wild as fuck, we tear it up. Ain't no law, we live it up. Do what we want until our time is up. You see us taking off, we on our astronaut. Rocket bumping pocket full of hash blocks. I rep them have-nots, avenues and back blocks. Came up around crooked cops and crack rocks. They say we left for dead, let them ride, ain't got no shot. Just a dead-end job, go and punch your clock. I'm a hard head though, you could thank my pop. Fuck a roadblock, I hit that like a juggernaut. Closed mouth, don't get fed, that's just food for thought. I put some gold on my jaw, now that's expensive talk. The stoner's mascot, catch me at the weed spot. Quarter in my socks that taste like some apricot. But I'm rolling up, this ain't your daddy pie. I give you ups like LeBron off the strings I got. This that Dr. Spot, we on that Captain Kirk. My bong rips of starships, I had you leaving Earth. City to city we go up. You got that sticky rolling up. You sipping something, fill your cups. Do what we want until our time is up. We keep it lit, we turn it up. Wild as fuck, we tear it up. Ain't no law, we live it up. Do what we want until our time is
up. Let's go with the final segment, and this is the signature of the show. This is the reason why you're here. It's something I like to call 12 rounds. So the way it works is I'm going to ask you 12 questions. It's a boxing match. I'm going to ask you 12 questions. If you answer all 12 questions, honestly, you're the champion. You walk away with the Wake the Flock belt. Not a real belt. It's a fake belt. If you cannot answer the questions, or you will not answer the question, you will be knocked out.
Okay.
I'm the champion, and I get that ring. that you're wearing?
Oh, never that. But
No. I get a signed copy of your shit.
Absolutely.
Boom. Beautiful. Okay. Are you willing to play 12 rounds?
Absolutely.
Okay. Round number 1.
That's the first question.
No. Remember, we're boxing, so we're walking up, we're touching gloves right now.
Right.
Round number 1. What is your favorite part about your craft?
Performing live.
Round number 2. What is your least favorite part about your craft?
Dealing with egos.
Round number 3. If you could collaborate with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
Dead or alive?
Dead or alive.
Jimi Hendrix.
You would collaborate with Jimi Hendrix?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Round number 4. What are you most proud of?
My family.
Round number 5. What are you least proud of?
Time wasted.
It's always a bitch, right? Just
Yeah.
looking back, be like, man,
Time wasted.
if only I'd have done this a few years younger. If only I would have made this choice, made that decision, you know?
Being procrastinating, you know.
Yes, I think that's a smoking, though.
Might be, man.
It might
I
not
feel
even,
like I'm
because
a
Be Real
responsible
been working
stoner.
forever.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a responsible stoner,
Responsible
but sometimes,
stoner.
sometimes you're like, yeah, I'm gonna do this tomorrow, and I'm trying to get better at like doing things right now, you know.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Round number 6. What is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is, being away from my family and them needing me at the time.
And you not being able to be there. Round number 7. Who would you take a bullet for?
My kids, my wife,
You take a bullet for them.
anybody in my family. Yeah.
Round number 8. Who would you let that bullet hit? Now, disclaimer, I'm not saying Adlib shoot someone. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you're going,
Listen, man.
but you're just not going to sweat it if dude gets it. You just, it is what it is.
Any bigot, racist piece of shit, I'll just duck and let the bullet hit him. You know,
Any racist motherfuckers.
any of that,
Okay.
any of that hate nonsense, man. You know, anybody who is judging off of race, religion, sexual orientation, any of that kind of stuff. I think humans should be humans and let them live. So surely, anybody like that, or anybody who ever touched or did anything to kids, like I'll help you put the bullet in them, you know.
A racist pedophile could get it.
Oh, racist pedophile. I don't know if you kill them. I think we torture them. I don't think you let them hit the bullet. I think you let them live a little bit in agony.
But how would that work though? Like, would they do kids that they hate or do kids that they like? Sometimes it's a mixed, mixed combination here because, he's black. But he's black. So I'm going to ruin, like,
Kill them all.
You know what I'm saying?
Kill them all.
It is still astonishing to me, 2017, that such an ignorant mentality still exists of like, oh, I'm not going to judge you for what you do, just on things you have no control over. Like your race, I'm going to judge you. Like that's what you're, you know what I'm saying? Like the mentality,
it's crazy.
That ignorance is surprising that it still exists. To me, it's crazy, right?
It's beyond crazy.
And you'll be shocked.
Well, it's an agenda now. It's like, I almost feel like there was a time where like we weren't really thinking about it as much. And now it's like, it's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Now it's the thing that's going on, and it's sick.
Yeah, yeah.
Media. I feel like media and our government is kind of even pushing this whole like race agenda now. You know, more than ever, and it's kind of crazy.
Round number 9. Who would you never work with?
Who would I never work
like
with?
ever work with?
Who would I never work with?
If you cannot answer the
I'm
question,
going to answer it.
or you will not.
I'm going to answer it. If I could never work, who I would never work with, I would never work with,
10, 9,
I would never work with
8.
Fred Durst. He's on my mind just from a couple minutes ago. There you go.
Okay.
I would tell him, fuck no, buddy.
Scenario. Fred Durst calls you on the phone. Yo. I don't know what he sounds like. Yo. I got Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, he got Jimmy? He
guitar.
brought Jimmy back? Ah.
Before Johnny Cash died, said, yo, it's only you and Adlib on this. This is what I want. And he laid it nice and deep.
I would have to probably work with him then.
Oh, so then that's not your
you can't bring back people from the dead.
Well, Fred Durst had a lot of money, bro. You don't know. He might have bought some samples. He could have bought some shit, you know. Who would you never work with?
Who would I never work with? I'll never work with, damn, see this one? I'm a loving ass dude, man. There's nobody that I dislike. Who would I never work with?
Miley Cyrus.
I would work with Miley Cyrus. Yeah, she's a stoner.
Taylor Swift.
I would never work with she's pretty hot too. You know, I would never work with that guy who did that what was that song that came out?
Mambo Number 5.
Mambo Number 5. I would never work with him. But who's the guy that came out with the song? The Gundam? Gundam Style. Dun, 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 dun.
Psy, I think it's his name.
Yeah, I would never work with him. There you go.
Psy calls you. No, all right. We'll give you that. That's too much because, yeah, they're bringing seances and shit up. Okay, I respect that. I'm with that. All right. It's a bit dope collabo, though. I think you can make it work, bro. I don't know. I have a feeling.
Guy had 1 billion. He was the first person to get 1 billion views.
It's insane, right?
Fuck, it's the shittiest song there ever was.
They loved it, though.
I did. So what? Maybe I have shitty taste.
Number 10, doing pretty good. Last 3. Right, number 10. Do you believe in God?
Yes.
What does that mean, Fred?
I believe in a higher power. Surely, I don't necessarily believe in a particular religion, but my birth father's Palestinian. He's Muslim. My mom is Christian. My father, my adoptive father is Baptist. So I've seen it all. Like as far as
perspectives.
As far as perspective, I have some Jewish friends that are very close to me. I don't necessarily believe in religion, but I do believe that there's a higher power. I do believe that the universe, I believe that we're all connected. I believe that we're all, energy forces, and that we're all the exact same energy forces, and that, I believe that, that there is a higher power than us, that shapes and molds what's going on.
I like that. I respect that. With that round 11, last 2, what is your biggest insecurity?
My biggest insecurity?
What are you most insecure about?
My biggest insecurity? Failing, just not being able to, make my wife, be able to provide for my family. My job security is my biggest, questioning. Should I be, continuing? How long to continue? How long to, before should I get a fucking 9-to-5 job? Sometimes things are rough, man. You go home and you're not on the road.
Trust me, I know.
That makes me, I get very insecure. Am I good enough? To go to that next level. I feel like I'm progressing, but I think that's probably my biggest insecurity is like in the back of your head, you wonder like, yo, do I have what it takes to get to that level where my kids are not going to have to worry, or my kids' kids are not going to have to worry. I know, I believe in myself and I think that I'm good enough to be where I'm at now. But, that question that you always have is like,
And I think it comes as a man that will I be able to provide doing whatever it is that I'm doing in the future. We all worry about the pension, bro, because like we don't have 20 years to spend forever. So we're always like, yo, is this going to pay off eventually? And then you're like, oh, but there's so many other people doing it. And like, you know, so the only thing that I've ever really come to realize is like, you cannot stay aware of the people running next to you. You have to just run
forward.
The minute you start looking side to side on what are they doing, how's their steps different, whatever, blah, 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 you're just it's gonna come back on you because your step is not gonna be there. It's gonna be different. You know, whatever you're providing, whether it's good or better, it's just different. So that's gonna fuck with you. So you really just go, fuck it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. And just finding another talent. Like, you know, like I don't see myself like touring and like being like a 40-year-old, like, you know what I mean? Like on this level. So like finding another talent and finding another
avenue in hip hop or in music
is something that I always think about. And it's something that I'm like, definitely insecure about.
Look at Kevin, like we were just talking about. He's not on the mic, but he's responsible for a lot of dope hip hop in LA and all across the world. He took a different avenue. You don't necessarily need a rap to be involved in hip hop. Right. You know, that's why doing what I do. I'm not out there doing shows right now. I'm providing something different, something new that people want to hear that they can't hear somewhere else. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Absolutely.
So I think you'll be fine, bro.
Thank you, brother.
I can see it in you, man. I got, from hearing your music to the people that are guiding you and directing you who have had a longevity in their career. Yeah. Right. I think you'll be cool, bro. I think you'll get it down for sure. Last and final question. Look at that. Thank you for sitting with us. I really appreciate you squeezing me in. I know, people can't see it, but we're in the middle of a hotel. There's alarms going out. There's people coming through. And it was real cool of you to find the time to fit us in.
Of course, man. Anytime.
Yeah. And, I love James who set this up. He's been super.
Oh, James. My man.
James is the man. Like whenever he has an artist that's in town, he knows that it'll be mutual beneficially for both of us. We'll be like, hey, yo, we got this person. Yeah, like, bro, for that, I'm so James anything for James, you know what I'm saying?
James is the man.
He absolutely is. So last and final round 12. Why?
What is it?
Why?
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 Why what? Why everything?
I want to know your why.
Why? Well, because, I have a voice. That's why. And, I want to try to get people to, think about questioning authority, to think about being themselves, and being comfortable being themselves. I want people to spread love and break rules. And, I feel like that's what I'm here for. And I feel like, I was put here to do that, to question authority, to question, the mold of what people feel that they're supposed to do or whatever like that. And, try to challenge people to be different and try to challenge people to be themselves and not be worried about being themselves. If you're, I wasn't the popular kid in school, whatever. I was the chubby kid in school, whatever the case like that.
I'm still the chubby kid in school.
Me too. But yeah, that's why, why is because why not? Why not? Like we're only here for a very short amount of time. I feel like while we're here, we need to try to spread love, and to, it sounds corny and like whatever the case, but like I legit feel like if people bring love into their hearts and they show love and they smile and ask people how they're doing today and have a good day, I think that goes a far way, and you're brightening, you're making your day better. You're making the next person's day better. And again, pushing people to question, what everybody thinks is supposed to be. Question authority, question the rules, break the rules. Most importantly, like I said, spread love.
I'm with that. I like it. You're the champion. You walk away with the belt. Look at that. crowd
And
goes crazy.
still.
Oh, I'm knocked out. I'm not cold. No, thank you again for
Thank
making
you,
time.
man.
It was a total pleasure and
appreciate
honor.
it, man. Thank
Anything
you so
else
much.
that we can do to help you out? You know, you're a Wake the Flock Up artist now, so you get free promotion for the rest of your life.
Oh man.
So we'll put up on
Awesome.
the website. We'll retweet, repost, all that good shit, of course. We'll have 2 songs from your upcoming project on the interview so people get to
Amazing.
know it and they go out there and shop it. You're in LA, you're in OC, stop by, say what's up, man. If you see somebody on the list, because we like to announce it like a week in advance that you want to meet, shake hands, or you want to co-host the episode with,
Yeah.
let us know. We got some really good names coming up, and I'll let you know after because politics.
Amazing.
So thank you again, Adlib, for sitting down with us, making the time for Adlib, for Battle Axe Warriors, for James who hooked it up, for Matt Chow, for everybody, for real hip hop everywhere. This is Concept 714 asking you, demanding that you help us wake the flock up.
That's it, man. Adlib 420.
You are now tuned into the Wake the Flock Up Network.